Welcome back. Season two of Straight to It. You guys know who I am. I am the incomparable Clem Boogie. I'm not here with my buddies, but I am here and I'm going to be conducting in a new format. So tonight, I'm here with a special guy, a young man, my friend, my brother. I've watched him grow up to the man he has become and will continue to be. He is finding his way in this game we call life. I know his parents, I know his whole family, and they are all good people, all great people, and they always show me love anytime I'm around. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Vikram Khosla.
How you doing, guys? Thank you for that great introduction, Clem. Um, my name is Vikram. I'm excited to be on here to talk with my good buddy Clem and just chop it up. Like Clem said, I've known him since I was a little kid, maybe around early middle school, early high school times, and it's been a lot has changed since then. But Clem's been a great role model, someone to look up to, and helped me along my way. And I'm a college student right now. I go to Seton Hall, and I'm getting my MBA right now. I'll be done this spring, and I'm from New Jersey. Something else about me. I'm from New Jersey, from around the shore area. I live up in North Jersey right now in South Orange. And I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So Vikram, like you've watched a couple of times, a couple of the segments that I do as far as like the one-on-one interviews and conversations that I do with people. So, it's more so just to kind of place it out there and let people know who you are, how you execute and kind of conduct yourself in the outside world. I know you, I respect you, and I damn near love you. You know what I mean? I'm always with you and I support everything you do. But let the people know you like how I know you. So, take it back to the kid in Jersey growing up, some of the activities and things of that nature, and it's on you.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. Like I said, I met Clem around when I was in middle school, and main thing we always bonded over is basketball. I was a big basketball kid. That was the only sport I played in high school. Pretty much only sport I follow. I follow football a little bit, but mostly just basketball. I grew up just, playing all types of sports from Freehold. I'm from a town called Freehold, New Jersey. It's in like central New Jersey. It's a nice town. Lived there all my life. And growing up there, I've always sorry, Clem, I'm kind of blanking real quick. I'm just.
It's all right. Take your time.
Anything like I should go off of, or something? Do you want me to talk about?
Just how you've grown up. I know both your parents are in the picture, and they provided you a great blueprint. I know your extended family. Obviously, I know both your sisters. I talk to them as well, and like I said, I pretty much know your whole family, and I think this is just more so an overview, like so people understand and get to see. Because I think for me, there's a lot of people within your age group that view life differently from what it was when I was your age. And I know now you're like 23, 24. Yeah. So I think the dynamics have changed. The world has evolved. So like when I was 23, 24, I was playing basketball overseas. So for you, school is your focal point, but I do know you are a jack of all trades. You do a lot of things. Yeah. And I think growing up from what I've seen from you is you've always been that guy where like you always wanted to test it. You always wanted to test limits. You always wanted to try things. You were never, apprehensive to ask questions. And I was very keen on that and understanding that, you had a lot of intrigue about you where you just wanted to know, right? So we've always grown up to understand if you wanted to know something or you wanted to evolve at something, you ask questions. And I think that's one of your qualities that you do. You ask questions because you want a better understanding and much more clarity.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments too. It means a lot. But Yeah, growing up, a main driving force for me definitely was my parents, especially my mom, and my dad.
Hmm.
Dad, like you said, I like to try. I've always liked to try new things, just to give a little bit about me and things I like to do.
Right.
When I started high school, I started cutting hair. I worked in a barber shop, just because I always I worked a lot of different types of jobs, like camp counselor and waiter and stuff like that. And I
Hmm.
always wanted to do something different, a little more self-made, and kind of control over what I do. And that definitely comes from my dad. He owns a small business, and he's just always, you know, taught me lessons about being sufficient for yourself, about navigating life, about different options, and just been a driving force for me.
Right.
And yeah, yeah,
I think I think for how I know you and what I've seen, and like, there's questions that I've always wanted to know because obviously, me and you, we talk here and there. Obviously, I know you're in school, so you got like a gazillion things going on at one time. So I try not to bother you. But what is it like at this stage of the game for you? Being a 23, 24-year old, being in that demographic, and you know, Seton Hall is a fairly known school, especially here in the Northeast.
yep,
How is that dynamic for you? How has your life kind of translated and changed over time, being
definitely.
here and being obviously being on your own? Because I think a lot of people don't understand, like, just because you're away at school, you're literally away from home. You're your own man, and you kind of have to like groom yourself to be the guy that you are and who you hope to be at the end.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I see what you're saying, and yeah, I agree. Like coming to Seton Hall, I always said, even in my freshman year, the 1 year I had away from home, I probably aged and matured more than the 18 previous years
Hmm.
living at home.
Right.
Just going away from home kind of forces you. And I even from my freshman year to now, it's 4 or 5 years apart. I feel like I'm a completely different person. Things being this age, like right now, I'm trying to land a job. That's the main thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to land a job, and it's very highly competitive right now.
Right.
And it's just a matter of resilience, trying to set yourself apart from the crowd, doing things different. There's always a kind of I guess, a pressure now
Right.
to be extraordinary, or to, be above the normal, which is something I'd always want to do, and most people want to do. But
Hmm.
it's hard. There's just a lot of pressure now, too. Definitely now. Also, growing up, the freedom comes, like the pressures and the responsibilities come with the freedom as well.
Right.
And like paying my rent now. No, I can't just work like I did in high school and have fun and things. Being able to prioritize and manage my time has been a real struggle for me. That's probably the worst thing I have, is time management. Like you said, I might have a million things going on in school and outside of school and things like that,
Hmm.
but just not enough time to do it. And outside of school, doing other important things like seeing family, seeing my friends, actually enjoying my life and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
hard to find that balance, because half of the people I'm around will, half the people we're around will want to, go out to the city every weekend type of thing, but also
Right.
half the people we're around will want to, kind of a pressure to, do extra work on yourself, work on a side hustle, things like that.
Right.
I think, I'm guessing, I mean, think you're talking about you at your age versus mine. I guess the main difference would definitely be social media and just the internet in general. I think that adds a lot of stress and pressure to
Right.
people
Yeah.
my age. There's just the comparison, the unneeded comparisons to other people.
Right.
Um, you know, Even though on social media it's usually you always see the good stuff. There's yeah, just a lot comes with that. I think that definitely affects people my age maybe differently than it did, maybe earlier than it did for when
Hmm.
you're at my age and things like that. But
Right.
again, with the bad comes the good. There's a balance on both sides too. But yeah, it's I guess, yeah, this day and age with all the different pressures, and it is hard. But
Yeah, I mean, it's funny enough that you touched on it because that was actually one of the topics I wanted to touch with you because you are, your generation is a pride of that. The YouTubes, the social medias, what have you. So there's a different world and different language. Like obviously we literally are in the same world, but like how we grew up and understanding and interpreting things far more different. You had mentioned, you know, being able to differentiate social media as opposed to real life. So, it's interesting because you I know you. You're grounded. You're a grounded person. You're a grounded human being. You're humble. How are you able to like compose yourself in certain situations or like certain topics when it arises when it comes to social media? Because, I feel like everything, if it's not posted on social media, it's not real or it's not relevant. I think a lot of, situations, scenarios, blow ups, politics, etc., have happened on streams of any kind, whether it's Facebook, IG, TikTok, anything and everything, Snapchat. I think people are very well engulfed, especially, people generally in your age group. And I think you hit it right on the head. When I was at your age, the internet was just about coming up. It was on the come up. Like I think at that time we had MySpace, we had AOL chat rooms and Craigslist and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Those things I think for the most part have phased out. And now we have, all kinds of sites, apps, social media galore and things of that nature. But, take me through what you see and what you deal with when it comes to that. I know because I know you and I've been on your page, a few times, both your business page and your regular personal page. I know you don't get sucked into that. So what keeps you grounded to keep you away from that kind of stuff?
yeah, I think the main thing is just realizing that it's not real life too. Most of the things you see on social media, definitely, like you say, I'm grounded and I appreciate that too. But it's still a human, and anybody that goes first navigating social media and things like that, it comes with a lot of challenges. Like for example, there's like people I know from high school that didn't go to college and they are like, day trading, doing different things like that, having new businesses. You see them posting, making real money at this point. Then some of you start to think like, oh, why'd I, spend money to go to college or spend the time to go to college and stuff. And you have people like you see comparisons of other people doing things, or whether it's career wise or looks wise or just whatever you want to do. I think most times it's just realizing that it's not real life most of the time, and not that to discredit anybody doing anything, but everybody just always have to just always on your own path. Just when you start to compare to other people and you start to compare other experiences, will never go well. Like I just started going to the gym and like trying to bulk up, gain muscle, like really work out. Like I always just played sports, but really trying to work out. And you can spend a lot of time looking at other people, like wondering why you're not getting big as fast or comparing yourself to others and things
Yeah.
like that. But it's really just staying on your own path. I think a lot of that too was just instilled by my parents, people around me, just because I've realized the most successful people or the people that get stuff done obviously care what others say, but don't let that affect them. Always just staying true to what you believe in, even if others don't believe in it.
Hmm.
Um, because most people are smart. And if you really believe in something and believe in yourself, then others shouldn't affect it as much. But again, it's always hard. It's just it's always a challenge. But again, yeah, it's just always reminding yourself that nobody's gonna post the hard times on social media. Nobody's gonna post the
Right.
struggle on social media. It's always gonna be the end product or something to look good and look like the end product.
Right.
And That's why I don't think even on my personal page I haven't posted a picture since like 2020,
Right.
things like that. It's supposed to use social media. Again, social media is a tool. Like anything, it's a tool. It's not your whole life. You shouldn't. I know people are like, spend like 5+ hours a day, scrolling and stuff. And like I can see that because if it's just scrolling, they're just replacing like watching TV or watching YouTube with scrolling, which is fine. But you just also have to realize should be you should just use it to your advantage. You use it to stay connected with the people keep up with the topics you like, watch basketball highlights and things like that of the games I didn't watch.
Right.
But it shouldn't ever consume your life because you got to have a whole. That's something I've struggled with is having a whole other life outside of the internet and out of social media.
Yeah, it's not to cut you off. I completely wholeheartedly agree with you. I think people forget the utilization of social media is just a highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I think you alluded to it. People get sucked into it from the standpoint that of comparing, the intrigue of what somebody else is doing, as opposed to what they are going through in their personal life. And I think struggles are never put up there. I mean, more so now they're probably put up there because it's more used for all the wrong reasons, clickbait, for clout, attention seekers or what have you, however you want to decipher and call them. But it's all unnecessary. And I think it's people are wasting time doing that because a lot of it is let's look at it from the standpoint of clickbait. They do it, it's an emotional tag where you click on something and it strikes or invokes an emotion in someone, depending on who the person is. You could be the strongest person, you could be the not necessarily the weakest, but more so emotional, on an emotional basis. And they they find something that kind of resonates. And I think that's the operative word, something that resonates with them, and they just take it and run with it. It could be relationship based, it could be business based, it could be a political belief, religious belief, whatever. And I think that's like the environment we are in right now when it comes to social media, because how I understand it, and I think you seemingly the same way understand it. It's just basically there to connect with your friends that you can't be with in real time, or in such a distance, or whatever the case may be. Like for me, and I'm sure for you, especially being in college, you have friends all over. So, like, say if you have a friend in Texas or you have a friend in California, it's a tool that's utilized for that, to keep communication. But
Definitely.
somehow or another, now what social media is being utilized as a weapon, more so as a tool to connect people. It's more so now dividing, becoming a divisive use. Everything now, not everything, but the majority, and it's growing because people love conflict, is becoming something where different messages are being drawn or sent out, and you have censorship, and people start acting stupid and doing all kinds of things that are very unnecessary. But those are things that take away from the fun of it. And but yeah, you hit it right on the head. I think a lot of people you know get lost in understanding that social media is just what someone wants you to see. You don't know them, you know their social media.
Definitely, exactly.
Um, so going back to schooling, I know you are, I forget what you're majoring in finance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what exactly in finance? What does your financial degree? What are you hoping to achieve once you walk across and graduate?
Yeah. So with my finance degree, so I graduated the undergraduate last May,
Okay.
like bachelor's in finance, and then I'm getting the MBA this year. That I'll finish that in May, and the hope for that is I still work in finance afterwards. I want to. I'm good with numbers. That's like my strength. I'm not like a stockbroker, a trader, and things like that. I'm more of the back end analysis, running. projections and just the back end of finance, mostly in financial analysis.
Right.
And Seton Hall is a great school. They have a really good business school, a lot of connections, and being close to the city, the hope is to work in the city, like being young and not having much responsibility, much on my plate. I want to work in the city, work big finance, do that whole type of thing outside of college, like right outside of college.
Right.
But and I think that the finance degree and the MBA and everything I learned at Seton Hall and outside will allow me to do that. But it's definitely not the end goal for me. Like I don't want to always do that, but I do want to be able to land a job in finance, excel in it, and just take it from there.
Okay, that's good. So for you now, I know you're on campus right now, right? Or
Yeah, I live like right off, like right outside of
okay.
campus. Yeah.
So so you're obviously you're out of the house. You're out. You're from under your parents, which I agree is always a good thing. And I know for you, it's like a breath of fresh air and a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I respect it. I guess for you, like, what is it? So what is it like, what for you at this age right now, like what are certain pressures that you may see or that you may face, I should say, and what are some, proud achievements that you have faced right now as well? So
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
speak on both.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, like this last year doing graduate school has definitely been a different like shift in focus from 4 years of undergraduate, especially in the beginning. It's about learning, being there for your academics, but it's also about growing as a person socially. That's a big part of it's just the college experience of living on campus. I did live on campus, had the pandemic right in the middle of it, so it was rough, like virtual for a little bit, but for the most part, I was there, and that's what a lot of that was for.
Mhm.
But now the pressures and the focus have shifted more just career wise, because now it's the undergraduate's finished and it's more about prepping and being ready for the rest of your adult life and the rest of your career. So a big pressure is it's just feeling like ready to go out there. I've been in school all my life, and going out into the real world has its levels of anxiety to it and stuff like that, going out into the workforce. So a big
Right.
pressure is that, but a big pressure is just like really, I guess, the transition from being a young adult or adolescent to really being yourself and being an adult, because now everything's on, like all of my close friends that I was like close with during the last 4 years are now all over the place. They're not around campus like I am. It's just me and my roommate.
Mhm.
And so it's more, it's not. So I guess there's less opportunity. There's also less distraction. It's more focused. And but yeah, over the last year, it's been, even though it's been more focused, I have been able to get a lot done. Like one big thing I'm proud of for the last year, I'm part of this like research group for my school. So my school like was a team of 5 people, and it's like a global competition for finance, and we write like do a whole financial report. And we just finished the report. We're getting ready for the competitions now and things like that. But that type of experience I would have never done in my undergraduate, because it's very like, over the winter break must have put like 15 to 20 and more hours in it, like a lot of hours trying to work on it, which usually you'd use that time to relax and things. But that's something I'm excited for the competition. And I've also been working too, and working just during the day and doing school. That has been a little tough just to get used to that back in the fall when it first started, getting like working a full day, coming home and just going right to school, not having much time. But while it has been like a little bit of a shift to focus, it's been positive. Like the rest of it have grown a whole lot in the last year than I have in the previous. And it's just more focused, definitely.
Good. So let's just focus. This part of the interview, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and these are your answers. There's no right or wrong answers, and I do this with everybody I speak to, and it's just an intriguing way to understand, like people can see how you think and how you view things through your lenses. So, so my first question to you is, um, and it'll change because you're younger than me, but you're smart. You have somewhat of an old soul. So, my first question to you is, what is something you would tell? What is something you would tell your younger self? So it could be your freshman year of high school, even elementary school, because I know now you're growing into yourself, being your own man, and kind of learning your way. So, what is something you would tell your younger self?
Yeah, big thing is just to keep everything simple. I think a lot of the problems or a lot of the stresses that come with growing up and navigating life too come with a lot of times for me personally is overcomplicating things, whether it's your career or socially or in relationships or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, you know what's right and what's wrong usually, and like I was fortunate, my parents taught me what's been right, like what's right and what's wrong,
Hmm.
and a lot of times just trusting your gut and trusting in yourself and not just not overthinking, not overcomplicating. You know what you're supposed to do, and just to not let little distractions deter you from that. Because when you're young, you hear about growing up, things to stay away from, distractions that you might face going to college and things like that. And a lot of times you just really might not think about it until you see it or until you experience it. But most of the time, just keeping everything simple. Not that things are simple, things are complicated,
Hmm.
but the more complicated you make it, the tougher and more stressful it'll be, and you have control over how you perceive things and how you go about things.
Hmm.
So breaking things down, taking things one step at a time, and just try not to overwhelm with all the different pressures you have going around, will be your best chance to succeed.
Great answer. I respect it. My next question is, uh, what's been your most difficult time? Like, what is a hardship or a difficult time that you had to face and and obviously overcome?
Yeah. Um, I'll say, like, to pick out a really a hard time I had to get over was during, let's say one was when we got sent home for the pandemic. That was during my, so, obviously everybody went through it, but everybody had their own experiences in it. And
Hmm.
for me, I was a freshman in college. So it was the first year, did this fall semester, winter break. And then right around spring break, we got sent home. And then
Hmm.
I didn't go back to school until junior year, until like the beginning of junior year in person. I mean, into junior year.
Right.
And it's just overall, again, like, of course, in the grand scheme of things, like it's not a terrible situation.
Hmm.
And I was in home with my parents and everything like that, and it's not like that bad. But just mentally, I guess where I was, just got out of home from living there the last 18 years.
Right.
Just kind of was finding myself as a person, like you said, just finding who I am and developing as a person, and then it just kind of got paused and sent back. And it was just hard for that time because I felt like I was missing a lot of time that maybe, like, I remember my older sisters had in college and stuff like that, and I felt like I might have been missing out, and not even just in the social aspect, just academically, online classes. I
Right.
don't ask any college student that was in school during COVID. I don't think many people learned much during that time during the
Right.
online classes, and it just felt. Yeah, it was just very isolating. I wasn't around anybody my age and things like that. And but again, at that time, things like we talked about, like social media, giving into getting consumed by social media, by other aspects and other distractions, was very like really high at that point. But just being able to stay grounded, trust in yourself, trust in what you your values and what you believe in,
Mhm.
and keep going your way, was able to get through it. And now it's just a distant memory. But yeah.
Good. My next question is two words, and it's both on opposite sides of the spectrum. Would you rather be loved or would you rather be respected?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but um, I would say loved, just because I don't know, like love is something that doesn't have conditions. You love, whether it's your family or your partner or your friends or anything like that. You love them at their highs and at their lows. It's consistent. Um, Respect is also good, but I think, yeah, if someone truly loves you, you have love for somebody, there is a respect there, and a admiration there definitely too. And respect, I just think respect can change sometimes too, based on how people perceive you and things like that. So yeah, love is definitely genuine. And yeah, I've learned that a lot recently, that like the love you have between family and stuff like that
Mhm.
is stronger than anything else.
No, perfect. And my last gauntlet question for you is if you had to do it all over again, and I know you're a fairly young man, so and no matter what it is, whether it's, a lot of your side hustles that you do, which I know you do the barbecue thing and you like chefing it up. I know you do cut hair. I know, you speak and mentor people as well on the side. I know you do a plethora of things. It's a long laundry list, and you and I know what you do. And you're a good dude. You're a good brother. Um, you're a good son. You're just an overall good human being. And I think a lot of people don't have that in their space, let alone life, but just being in the space. And anytime I see you, I'm always appreciative of you. Like we always talk, and we never miss a beat, no matter what it is. Like with us, we don't see age; we just see things that we have in common, just common form, commonality, and we're able to, just generally just talk, whether it's a couple minutes to hours. So I'm always grateful when I'm with you. Um, so yes, so my last question of the gauntlet is would you do it all over again, or would there be like bits and pieces here and there that you would change when it comes to Vikram Khosla's life?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like anybody, I think I can go and nitpick on things that you could have done differently or done better and things like that. But I think honestly, I'm pretty good with how things have gone, how I've done things. Like I wouldn't, not that everything's been like sunshines and rainbows, but that's the point of it. That it shouldn't be like that, and the weaknesses I may have or the struggles I may have. Of course, I could go back and change things to fix that, but I think the more important thing is really just recognizing that about yourself and moving forward in a way to, I guess, help yourself correct those or in that way. So, I mean, overall, I really wouldn't do anything over like change. Like anyone can nitpick on things and say I did something wrong this time or could have done this better. But I think overall, I wouldn't really change anything, because I wouldn't really be me at the end of the day too if I did it differently. So yeah.
I respect it. Yeah, that's all the question that I have for you.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely appreciative of you doing this with me. I know when we spoke about it, it took a minute because of obviously conflicting schedules and things coming up. But one thing I appreciate about you is that you keep your word. You never change up. you are who you are, and that's the part that I respect about you. And
Thank
I've
you.
always respected about you from the day I met you. Um, I love you. I love your family. Um, you guys make things very easy, and that's what it's supposed to be about. And you alluded to it, simplicity, keeping things simple. No need to make things hard. I think that's where people get off track when they try to make things hard and make it complex and start doing things that are very unnecessary. So,
Yeah.
with that, I respect you and I salute you. And finish up strong with school. You know what I mean? You're there. You're at the finish line. You just got to walk it, and you do what you have to do, and you know what it is that you got to do. So you
Yeah.
do it because I'm cheering for you no matter what it is. Is there anything else you wanted to leave off as a closing statement?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you too, Clem, for inviting me onto this. I've watched some of the podcasts, some of the other episodes, and yeah, I was honored to be on it. I love you too, like a brother. It means a lot, everything you said, and I know you'll always be there for me. And like an opportunity like this, I've hate talking about myself, to be honest. Like I don't like speaking about things I do, and you
Right.
drew some things out of me that I even forgot about just because I didn't feel like it's just not natural for me.
Right.
So to get out of the comfort zone, I appreciate that,
Right.
and you know, you appreciative of you helping me all the ways you did, even when we used to work out back in like high school, do some of those basketball workouts.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, your family, you've been like a brother, and yeah, just thank you for everything.
No problem.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, my closing statement, and this is, just for everybody, is that, here I'm talking with my brother, Vikram. I think people need to understand no matter the age group, generation, or whatever the case may be, there are people out there that go through stages in life where they're doing things both good and bad. Fortunately, Vikram is on the right foot. He's on the right steps, and he's about his business. And I'm always behind him, pushing him, cheering him on, no matter what. And I think we need more of that. I think now so much dissension. We look at sports, especially for us young men and grown men, their generations were always trying to beat each other down about who's better, who's not better, who did this, who did that back in their day. It's not about that. You need to create a path where not only mentoring, but you provide a blueprint because there's the next generation that's behind us and they're looking ahead, looking at us at what we're doing. So I think it would be wise and for everyone that's on the older side to look back, reach back, and understand that there's a generation behind you, and they're looking at your footsteps, and your footsteps will help them guide into what they want to do. It's grooming them into what they want to be, hopefully one day. So, with that being said, this is season 2 of Straight to It, and I thank Vikram Khosla again, and that's it, and that's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Mom.
All right.